Hi, I'm Linda Abbott. I'm a consultant with T&G and an M.Ed advisory board member.
And my name is Tim Cason. I am a consultant with T&G and also an M.Ed advisory board member. Linda and I are coming to you in our next video involving the series around one team versus two teams as it relates to behavioral intervention team implementation and strategies. And in our last video, we introduced to you some of the concepts that are challenging for having a two-team model with process elements. So how we receive referrals and then process through them to deploy interventions. And as we talked about last time, Linda, when we have this separate model, the process of receiving information is siloed and then deploying interventions is siloed because we're asking a group of individuals to focus on Tim's referral on Wednesday to talk about his low-level stuff and then come together on Thursday, a separate group to talk about his high-level stuff. And that's just not how risk works. Everything feeds into each other. But one of the process challenges that I think that also creates is documentation issues. And so when we're using our electronic record keeping systems, we want to keep them as user-friendly and simple as possible so that it's easier to put information in and then pull information out for data gathering purposes down the road. But when we have a two-team model, how do we document that? Do we have separate case types that we put certain pieces of information in? Or do we have one full case, but we're only being made aware of the pieces of information that relate to that level of risk that the team's managing? I just think it creates some of those challenges of knowing where to store it, how do we store it, and then who has access to it. And it's much simpler to just keep it as a one team who has access to all the case files.
I agree. I mean, I think one of the challenges that we see is time. We're limited on time. We're already struggling to stay on top of our notes and our documentation. Now, when we have two teams, we have two separate places we need to do that. I think in a similar way, we look at other things that we already struggle with, which are things like marketing and training and resources for two teams. So when we have one team, we're able to market that team to our community as one team. We're not trying to have two different marketing strategies. Same thing with training. It's really important for our teams to be staying well trained, staying on top of their training process each year. And that requires resources. So that's all kind of ties in together. That's something we hear a lot from clients is, we want to do more training, but we don't have the resources, or we want to expand this and we don't have the resources. Having two teams means you need that much more marketing, that much more training, that much more resources. So when you're able to combine and have one team, it makes all of that much easier and far less complicated. So hopefully this gives you all some insight into the why of why the research supports this from a process standpoint.
And then next week, we are going to go ahead and tackle some of the assessment challenges by having multiple teams.
See you then.